Hi there, Phil Rogers, Lauren Hall here from Loan Market Edge, coming to you with our weekly wrap. What is trending in lending? So the sun's out. That is a very beautiful, welcome change. The sunny weather for the 𝗂𝘂𝗲 here on the Gold Coast, which is really exciting. So people everywhere this morning, to be honest.
Chocker-blocker.
Traffic is a nightmare, but that's okay. It's a really cool weekend, great for obviously the economy, local economy, but just great to see everyone back together. And again, sun is out, Queensland. This is why we live where we live. So
beautiful.
A very exciting. Summer is back. A couple of updates we saw. Obviously, we start with the not so good news. So I'll let Lauren do that part. I looked down, I was like, I'm not saying that. You say that.
So as per normal, there's always lots of changes from a policy point of view. So policy's always been really fluid, and we've seen a few more changes recently as well. One that's literally just come through this afternoon, so very hot off the press, is on the construction side of things. So as you know, you've got your loan to value ratio, which is the percentage that you can lend against the value of the property. That will be different for investment, for owner occupied, the type of property you're purchasing, and also for construction. And what we've seen is another bank has reduced their maximum loan to value ratio from 95% to 90% for construction lending. Okay, so just showing they want a little bit more equity and a little bit more fat in there. We saw a few of the banks do this over the last 12 months or so. So if you're looking in the construction space, if you're a first home buyer, obviously you've got some great offers from the government that can help with that deposit piece. But if you're not, just be double checking that deposit requirement that you need if you're looking at land and construction.
So we need not 9 deposit percent, how much?
What?
10. We need 10.
Wow.
10. I was trying to walk you into that. 10% deposit for the Kiwis.
There we go.
Some of my best. So yeah, those policy changes, a lot of that happened through COVID, right? So it's interesting to see now that we've got to this point where a lot of banks are starting to relax that. There's still a couple that are managing appetites. We've probably seen that around policies and around interest rates, where there's some that are sort of just good. That's not a space we want to play in at the moment. So that sort of made some adjustments to affect that. The good thing is working with us is we have 60 plus lenders, so there's always someone that definitely we have in the books that'll go to 95, even
Absolutely.
for non first home buyers. So
every bank is different.
The benefit of working with the broker. One conversation we're having a lot at the moment as rates continue to move at the speed they are upwards, obviously, and the pressure that puts on the household budget is just around maybe some top tips, I guess. And well, to be honest, it's guided by the conversations we're having pretty much with every meeting at the moment, is around starting to manage that, and if clients weren't doing that and we're going into this into the new loan, especially for existing clients, right? Managing that increase, what does that look like? So some of the tips we had for the budget. So one website I know we both highly suggest or recommend to clients a lot is the ASIC Smart Money website. So a lot of really cool tools and resources in there. One in particular is a little budget planner that we often recommend. Super simple, but really detailed, and just a great starting point, I guess, when it comes to whether a single applicant, family, kids, whatever it is, getting that under control, really just getting it on paper firstly, right? And just sort of, I don't like the word confronting the facts, but let's get it out on paper. Let's actually have a look at what the budget should look like. Obviously, there's some really cool, like little track my spend. I say really cool until you look at it and you go, wow. But once you get using it, it can become really cool. But it's a great apps with a lot of the banks that you already bank with have this sort of track my spend or track my spending tools built into their apps already. So you can actually get access to what's happening in your bank account. You can use something like that budget to sort of lay out what you would like to think is happening, a little bit of reality of what's actually happening, and try and match those two up. In the simplest of forms, in those conversations, I know that we'll often talk about sort of even if generating, and by all means, I'm not a financial planner, right? So there's a disclaimer, but there's some general tips that definitely
some
help.
Common sense stuff, really.
Yeah, which it might be 3 basic bank accounts. Think about how you bank and where money comes in and out and who transfers what and how confusing that can sometimes get. So you have sort of even if it's a bills account, a spendings account, and a savings account, just in the simplest of forms. And if you look at that budget planner that you've put together, you'll have a bit of an idea of what my bills are calculated, whether that's annually, monthly, weekly. You can break it down to a figure, and let's say those bills are $500 a week that goes into that account, and all the bills are paid from that. Now, likewise, you nominate an amount for the spendings, we'll call it the slush fund, and then the amount you want for savings. And at the end of the month, you might have a look at that and go, well, which account do we find ourselves dipping into, right? Will we over or under? A little bit of a tweak. Have a look at it the second month, and by that third month, you really should be sort of
some clarity.
A bit of an operating rhythm.
Yeah.
You're sort of humming along, going, okay, is this a realistic budget? Because the main thing at the moment for a lot of clients are like, well, where is my money going at the moment? And when you start to budget through the certain accounts, sometimes it can just really help. So as simple as that may sound, there's no magic formula there. It's just what you can't measure, you can't manage. Yeah. So getting it down on paper, 40% of goals written down are better off. I think that's how they say it. You're 40% more likely to hit your goals if you write them down.
Okay.
But no, that's a huge tip. We're talking to clients a lot about that. Jump onto that Money Smart site, have a look, have a bit of a play around, download the budget and go, well, you know what, even just the simplest of forms, is that actually happening or not happening?
And I'm going to cut in because on a roll
You won't get in, yep.
Won't get in. On that note as well, coming up to what I probably call the silly season. So we're coming up to a time of the year where there's traditionally a lot more spending. So with a little bit of pressure around interest rates, it's a really good time to jump on there and have a look. So we can make some good responsible decisions now rather than sort of trying to sort things out later on. Okay, so just get across the budget, make a few allowances for some rate increases, and just make sure you're comfortable with what you're going to spend over that sort of holiday season. So there's still money in the bank and everything comes out in the new year.
Easier to do it now than the depression session in sort of January, February, and the scramble back up to try and get back to where you need to be by, April, May, and suddenly you've lost 6 months. So,
and also just on that note, this is totally same but different, is that your Afterpays, your Zip Pays, those buy now, pay later style facilities, okay, they are going to affect your credit scoring in a negative point of view. So if you're looking at using those facilities or grabbing them over that holiday period, just bear in mind that is going to hammer your credit scoring a little bit. It's about 40 points it takes off your actual score for each of those buy now, pay later facilities. So just bear that in mind. I know they can be quick and easy to get some cash flow.
Convenient. Oh, they have a better sale. They have a sale. If you use it, you get a discount.
Yeah.
Top tip,
so just be really smart with that stuff, and just give it some thought before you jump on and use it.
Yeah, it's hard because the banks, and again, I'm singling anything out, but they do present that as a great thing. But then you go to that same bank that offers that facility and try to use it, and you've got it. It actually works against you on your application. They're now recorded on the comprehensive credit reporting. I know we spoke about that a few weeks ago. So I was saying there, it's not just the inquiry; it's actually reportable, right? So we need to make sure, in my personal opinion, if you've got them, close them down, pay them off, close them down. They're not a thing. Don't use them. It affects your ability, A, to borrow money, but B, just to budget. Yeah, the banks look at that and go, well, you didn't have the money to pay your bills, and so you had to pay it off for a period. They look at it like almost like what's that, cash lending?
Cash flow.
Not cash flow lending, like cash in advance style payments. It's not good. So a huge thing from us. Again, obviously, clearly don't have shares in it. Don't use it. Close it down if you can avoid it. Make it the last cycle of it, and just let it be gone. And go back into that budget. You should have money set aside for those things to be able to do it that way. So it's a no-go, and is actually working very adversely on clients' applications at the moment. So that is a great tip.
I was like the bad news person. Look at you go.
No, I'm supporting your bad news. Yeah.
I was trying to do the lighter
good cop,
version.
bad cop.
Wow.
Yeah. No. So
let's get rid
of those. So look, that's probably the big one this week. Is just it's a constant conversation with the clients around at the moment about the budgeting, about getting ready if rates are going to increase. We are going into the silly season. Just a lot of things happening. So for you guys taking a little bit of ownership and responsibility and trying to do that now before we go into Christmas is definitely a great time to be doing it. But for now, enjoy the weekend, and we will see you guys next week. Bye for now. Bye.